All right, we are recording. We can rock and roll. You guys, tonight I'm super stoked that Jessie is going to be leading this call for us. So typically we're having our weekly accountability meeting calls during this time, but every once in a while, we'll just bring in somebody to speak or train or share on a topic or experience that they recently had. And Jessie just attended the Dallas Base Camp. And we talked a little bit after, and like floods of good ideas, I feel like was just coming from Jessie left and right. And your energy has been so great. But I feel like when you came back from base camp, it was like a whole new level. So Jessie's been with Zaya for 4 years, right? Yeah. And absolutely just like the most positive energy, dominates the business, like started and just never stopped. So you guys, I'm so excited. Jessie, I'm going to let you take the floor and just kind of share your feedback, what you learned, maybe some of your key takeaways, but the floor is all yours because you have the golds here tonight. So thank you for doing this.
Yes, I'm so excited. So first of all, guys, this is going to be my plug to get it to an in-person event because there is nothing like being in that room with all of these people and just like truly diving into the community. So I attended the Dallas Base Camp and the whole thing was based on community, how to network with all of these random people. And it was just so good because you have leaders from all walks of life who are sharing like people are emailing me these blueprints that they created for their hostesses that they created for like onboarding new reps. Everyone's sharing their systems here. And it wasn't like, oh, I spent all this time on making this. I'm going to keep this for me and my team. Like everyone is just sharing the wealth, sharing the knowledge. And it was just so cool to be a part of that. And now to know these people that I never knew before in this business. So I'm going to talk about a few different things tonight. One, the kind of the overall forecast of Zaya, kind of talking like a weatherman and what's happening, what did happen, things like that. I am going to talk about having accountability partners and how to grow your business with that. And then I actually learned about like the Facebook algorithm and engagement because that's like a hot topic now. Everyone's getting upset about visibility. So we are going to talk about all of these things. So first of all, Courtney, that is Aaron's brother, was there talking about the forecast of Zaya, and he actually encouraged us to start using the new website. So if you're not using the new website right now, start pushing it for all your customers because that's the only way that they can get the data back that they need. So I have a party starting next week, and I'm definitely going to be using that new website feature because it's a lot more user friendly too. So let's talk. These are kind of
Jessie,
nerdy
can I
numbers.
ask a question about that?
Yeah.
Is there a way, like, so when you copy, like when you create a party link for a hostess and you take their link from your back office and share their direct link, is there a way to direct link to the new website? Because there's not, is there?
Not that I know of. So
You have to just direct them to your new website and tell them to
yes,
select
and
the
then they'll
correct
have
party.
to whoopsies. They'll have to just click the correct event on the side before they check out.
Okay, so one thing that's important about that, just for everybody, is that the event of the hostess only shows up when whatever dates you have it set for, they have to be the current date. So like if you set up a link for a hostess and you set it for like June 5th, it's not going to show on your website until June 5th. So just a heads up for people, if that's like the route you're going and you're pushing towards a new website, no party links will show unless they are like current date, where before, like it didn't matter the dates, they always showed up on your website as long as they were within 30 days of today. So that's just an important note.
Interesting. He did not talk about that. He just said that he wants us to start pushing that. And so that was my plan, was to have them just make sure they click the correct event, but I'll definitely make sure that those event dates are correct then. He talked a lot about the overall just general forecast of Zaya. So, and these are a lot of numbers, but it's so mind-blowing actually. We have sold over $25 million in clothing units. We have over 10 million customers and have paid out over $350 million to reps. Our warehouse has increased by 12 times. We're now in 3 markets, and that's still expanding. So Australia, US and Canada. And we've actually donated $5 million, over $5 million to community outreach. So that's through philanthropic, the cancer and Kenya Keys and all of those different organizations. When Zaya started, this is funny, they had 8 SKUs. So everything has a SKU number. We now have over 1,500. And so when you're looking at this business, and you're just like, is it saturated? Is there room for growth? Like, look at how much we have grown already in just these few years. So the other thing that's interesting is right now there is a 3.5% unemployment rate. So more people are unemployed, but inflation has gone up, and even activewear inflation. So overall, inflation on clothing is up 7.6%, and Zaya has not increased their price one time. Not even when summer shorts sold out in 2 seconds did they come back and say, oh, I'm going to increase the price next time by $5 to make more money. No, they never did that, which is incredible. He talked a lot about the 2% rule. So if you're looking at your business and you're wanting to grow your business here, what do you have to do to double your business in a year? Like, if someone told you, if I gave you the secret sauce to literally double your entire business in 1 year, would you do it? And that's exactly what he did. All you have to do is grow by 2% month after month after month. 2% is really not a lot. But in order to do that, you just have to be consistent. And so these other things that I'm going to talk about tonight are those little things that you have to do. I mean, Amy's like the queen of consistency here in systems. And so if you're able to do those things, your business will explode. Okay, so now let's talk about like the meat and potatoes of all of this. Things that I thought these were like the most mind-blowing tips that I got at all of base camp. The first one is how to utilize accountability partners. And I don't know why I've never thought of this, but there were 2 Zaya actually, I think they were, I don't know if they were DZEs or Zaya executives. And they were, whoopsies, they were talking about how since the beginning of Zaya, they actually have always done parties together. So you have 2 reps together hosting all of their parties in block party format, and they're doing all of this together. Why? So that they could work smarter, not harder. And so if you think about it, if you're doing a block party and you're inviting 3 people and your friend's inviting 3 people, now you have 6 hostesses in this party, but you only have to post half the time. The other thing that's really cool about utilizing an accountability partner. So Kayla and I were sitting next to each other at base camp, and we both decided, like, first of all, why have we not done this? Because we're both working moms. We are freaking busy. Like, we have to do Zaya in small pockets of our day and schedule everything. So this just made sense for our business. It does not make sense for everyone's business, but it just made sense for ours. And we do a lot of things the same way. And so we decided that our next block party, we're actually going to do it together and put all of our friends in one group and do it like one big mega party. What's interesting is that the girls that were giving this presentation about accountability, they were talking about how, like, let's say you pick a date in March and you're like, okay, this is our week for our block party. If your friend has 3 people in this party coming and you have no hostesses yet, you're going to be scrambling. So it forces you to figure it out. And every single month, make sure you have parties on the books. The other thing it does is it forces you to show up, because you're not going to not show up for your friend. You're not going to, oh, I forgot to post in this party, or I forgot to go live, or I forgot to do this. If you have a friend that's right there doing this with you and that's going to call you out, like, you're going to show up 100%. And so it was really interesting. And then the last part of doing that together is it forces you to sit down with your calendar and figure out, like, party this week, party this week, party this week. Like, well, when are you guys going to do your parties and work your business? Kayla and I We sat down with our calendars. We figured out when we were going to do our block party. We filled up that block party, and then we're like, okay, now we're on to the next month. So we're actually already booking out into April and May now, doing this together. And it's so cool to be able to
Do you
do
feel
this
like-
with somebody.
Do you feel like you'd be booking out that far if you didn't have that?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I also, when Kayla told me she had more parties booked than I did, I was like, well, shit, like, let me get these kids to bed and I got to get to work here. Like,
it's Snapchat.
Yes, it's not necessarily, it's not a competition, but like, you just want to contribute 50-50 on this. And it, and so it definitely has made us both work harder. And it's nice because, again, we run parties the same way. We both do burst parties. So we are still planning on doing this in burst party format because, again, it just makes sense for our business. And now we have 2 people working together to help tally all of these, all of these comments and things like that. We can split giveaways. It just makes sense for our business to be able to do this together. So I am so pumped to be able to do this with her. There was also someone else who spoke on just the process of booking parties, and very similar to Amy's training that she did a few weeks ago about like, you don't ask someone, you basically tell them like, hey, I'm glad you love that. How about we get you a party so you can get free and half off stuff? Do these 2, March 2nd or March 8th, whatever. So she does that, but she actually takes it one step further. And like, let's say someone orders on a Maker Room Monday or a new release Wednesday or whatever it may be. When she's having that conversation with someone, she will say like, oh my gosh, Sally, you got that at a great price or whatever. I'm so excited for you. I actually threw that order on a personal shopping link for you. Here's your link. She like literally sends it to them right then and there. And then we'll say, why don't we do an event so then you can get more free and half off stuff and then give them their 2 days. And so Natalie Robinson actually had a Nike giveaway. I don't even remember when this was, but Ashley, who did this training, won that giveaway by booking 53 parties with this method during that booking blitz. And everyone was like, how the frick did you book 53 parties? And that's exactly what she did. When people see that link and they know like, well, my order is going to start counting towards those rewards, then they're more likely to say yes and book that event too. So worst case scenario is they still tell you no. It doesn't take long to set up a shopping link, especially if you know how to search their name and it populates all their information automatically. And so you can move on. So that was just a part of the parties. The last part I want to talk about is, I can't remember her name, but she like studies the Facebook algorithm, which to me is like ears on a chalkboard. I can't do it. Whatever. But she studies the Facebook algorithm and constantly is keeping up to date on the things you have to do to get more visibility and whatnot. Her biggest takeaway was don't just post and pray. Like, especially in your group, you can't just post new releases and expect like everyone to magically see them one day. So I would encourage you to go through your VIP group, just scroll through like, are you delivering content that's even worth people like being in your group if they're not buying that second? And are you engaging your audience, or is it just boring stock photos constantly? So she talked about like Wednesday being game day. And what do you do to prepare for game day? You don't just like jump in the game without practicing, without getting ready, eating dinner the night before, whatever. So Tuesday, in order to get more visibility on Wednesday, on Tuesday, you have to do 2 things. You have to go live because it's Facebook, it makes them happy, and they're more likely to show your post on Wednesday. So you have to go live. And then you have to do some form of interaction post. And this can be anything. Like today I did one, what's your favorite flower? And it's like people commenting their favorite flower. So it can be literally anything. Then when they're interacting, you have to go through and like every single thing, give it a reaction. She said Facebook actually likes the angry emoji. So she goes through her list and gives everyone an angry thing. I'm not going to do that because my group will think I'm a psychopath, but Facebook is more likely to bump that if you do an angry one. So like all of those, and then reply to everything and comment back. And again, have a conversation. The other thing is that some people are so nervous to get into others' inboxes. But one, it helps your visibility on Facebook when you're talking in people's inbox as well. And two, this is a relationships business. Like, you cannot grow here unless you're making genuine relationships with these people. So she's not saying like slide into their DMs and say like, hey girl, but it's just like having true, genuine conversations with people and figure out like how many people you want to talk to every single day and communicating that way. That is another way. Like, once you're in their inbox and you guys have this like conversation going back and forth, like, it's not weird for you to later say, you know, I saw you commenting on the new releases last week, you know, talking about hosting, talking about what they might like. But if like you haven't talked to that person in 4 years and you're all of a sudden messaging them about new releases, it's just kind of weird. So have relationships with those people. And then she talked a little bit about, you know, other ways to boost sales on New Release Wednesday. Like, if you want to do a mass text or use a system, like I have a system that texts everybody the new releases, or a VIP chat, using MailChimp to send an email, bulk ordering for people or being their personal shopper, or let's say like, you know, tomorrow Zaya already dropped the hint that there's going to be quarter zip type jackets coming. And so figuring out what SKU those people ordered before, and then reaching out to them to say, hey, we just launched this new one. I thought you would love it. I had to tell you. So that was just another way to try to be a personal shopper and boost some sales. But there was so much more than this. Like, this room was so full of just so many powerhouses. And this was literally just one day. It was a very brief snapshot of what to expect at Summit and the overall environment of Summit. So if you are on the fence, I do encourage you to get to Summit, figure out the travel plans and the lodging later. Honestly, it is so, so, so important for you, just like mentally, but also for this business. There's just nothing like it. So that's all I got.
Hey, can I add to your the thing you were just saying about like Facebook visibility kind of thing?
Yeah.
So Jessie mentioned like getting in, sorry, I'm untangling necklaces, you guys. Who does this? What the heck?
Amy.
Anyways. But she was talking about like how getting in people's inboxes like really increases your visibility. And one thing that I've been doing consistently, so again, here I'm going to step on my Teamsy soapbox again. So if you're familiar, here I go. But one thing that I've been doing consistently since October that I am certain has made a massive impact on my business is every single day I send 2 make your day messages to people that are not my customers, so prospects, if you will. They're my Facebook friends, but they've never shopped with me. And that make your day message has absolutely nothing to do with Zaya. So basically what I do is I just, on Teamsy, I get 2 people on my list, and I just go look at their profile and I try to find something that I could start a conversation with. Like, the holidays is easy. Like, if they just posted a picture of their kid in their Halloween costume, like I can be like, oh my God, I just saw your kid's Halloween costume. So funny. Like, just like random shit, right? Now, if a person comes up and I literally can't think of like something to talk about, I just skip them. I go to the next person, right? But I'm just doing 2 people a day and just starting conversations. I almost never talk about Zaya, ever, unless they bring it up somehow. But more likely than not, they start seeing my personal page, and I post about Zaya periodically on my personal page, and they start to see that stuff. And so a lot of times the conversation does come around to it at some point, or they see my post and they join my VIP group because I've tagged it or whatever. So I do 2 like prospects a day, and then I do 1 customer a day. And this customer message has, again, nothing to do with Zaya. So it's really always easy around, like it was super easy around the holidays. Like if somebody came up in December, I just like said like, hey, just wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas and thank you so much for being a part of my Zaya community. Like that's literally it. And you guys, I cannot tell you, I can tell you, like literally in the month of December, I know for certain 6 people that I sent 6 customers that I sent a make your day message to. Literally, they never even responded to me. They just saw my message, maybe they liked it or something. Within like 24 to 48 hours, they placed an order with me. And I never even had a conversation with them because you know what happens when you do those? You become front in their mind. And they probably thought like, oh man, I haven't went to Amy's Zaya page in a while. And then they went to my page, or, you know, I've been meaning to order another pair of those Black Pocket Light and Tights, and they just go and do it, right? Like we didn't even have a conversation about it. And like, they're just so impactful. They just start seeing, or they like start actively participating in my group because like now they're seeing my stuff because I was in their inbox. So those connections, I mean, I don't know anything about the Facebook algorithm, and nor do I care to even try and make any sense of it. But I do know for a fact that doing that very small thing that takes me about 3 minutes a day, like has made a massive impact on my business. So just do 2 prospects a day and 1 customer.
And if you're not on Teamsy yet, you need to be, because it organizes it all for you and keeps you on track.
Then you don't have to like come up with a random customer.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Does anybody and that's such a good place to start too, right? Like just doing a couple at a time. Like it doesn't have to be this massive overhaul of your business. And I think Jessie and Amy hit that on the head. Like the 2% rule, like when you really break that down, like nobody's asking you to hit Zaya Elite tomorrow. Like it's just 2%. So figure out what 2% means in your business and then figure out like what you need to do on a daily basis to try to make that happen. And it's probably not all that overwhelming, right?
Absolutely.
Does anybody have questions?
There's actually somebody at the training too who completely grew her entire business from like, they're technically cold messages, but they were the people on Facebook, like the people you may know. And so like just how she was having those conversations and just being a normal human in these messages that weren't like cheesy or like made you feel icky. I was just like, oh, I could like learn from it. There's no one way to do this business. And I think like it was just so good to be full of this room of people with so many different experiences. And it was just really, really cool.
And it's refreshing too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then one of the gals, Sarah, she's going to be doing a training, and she actually opened it up to like all teams that participate that went to Dallas to do it on attraction marketing, because that's how she's grown her business. Like people come to
your network
her.
is your net worth.
I don't know if that's
maybe not.
That's okay.
I just recently posted it in Grow and Celebrate though.
It's like from fan to
yes.
teammate.
Okay. I think I just saw a notification. I don't know when you posted it, but I just saw a notification about it's like a picture of her, right?
Yes. Okay. And so again, it was just one of those things that she grew her business from people coming to her through attraction marketing and like the way you share yourself online and draw people in. And I'm just like, there's just like, again, so many ways to go. And it's just so cool to be, because I think everybody is going to take a little bit of all of these and then like customize it to you, what works for you. So it's just so cool.
What questions do people have? Or comments, thoughts, feelings on any of that?
My thoughts are that if you live in the Chicagoland area, you should sign up for Chicago Base Camp.
Boom.
Is anybody here going to the Chicago Base Camp? I am going to the Chicago Base Camp.
We need 50 more people. So who's got people in the Chicagoland area?
We can do that. We can make that happen. I can go through the back office and figure out who's close, and we can get some more people signed up. I think sometimes like
I am hosting a social at my house on Friday night for anybody that comes. So who doesn't
And you
want to
can
come to
tour
my
that
house,
closet.
guys?
I do. I do. I want to see the closet. I actually want to see the kid.
I'm in the closet.
I know, it's so big.
Thing.
I'll give you a tour of my closet if you come.
Will I get to see your kids?
No, they're I'm sending them away.
It's actually
Amy, is your closet worth a 4-hour drive?
Sam, yes, because you can hitch a ride with somebody else from our team.